Fakeri, CEO and founder of MOJO. I'm one of your co-hosts here today, and I'm joined with some great participants. I'm going to go ahead and start off here to my left with Kalie Jakovics, a.k.a. Kalie Lastagarkov. Hi, Kalie.
Hello.
Kalie's on the business development team. And also on our guests here today, we have Tawnya Freund. I want to welcome you, Tawnya, from ViaPlus, who's joining us. It's great to have you here. We also have George Christopher, the VP of Market Development over at Emovis. And we also have Lev Pinelis, who is the founder and principal of Toll Insights. Thank you very much for joining us. And lastly, and certainly not least, is Mark Sly, who is the CTO and partner over here at MOJO. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Oh, great. So, again, the podcast here, this mini series is, there's a lot of tolling events coming up that we'll definitely going to talk about. But the one, we're talking about today is IBTTA's event, which is going to be talking about learning extraordinary customer service. But before we dig in, the whole goal of this is to share as tolling professionals. It's weird to hear myself say that out loud. As a tolling professional, how do we maximize this engagement when you go to one of these events? So, George,
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Why don't you tell us how long you've been in IBTTA?
Well, I've been in IBTTA for about 10 years now. And
Okay.
I'll admit the first 2 or 3 years I would go to these conferences, I would be lost. I didn't really know anyone. I didn't know the tolling industry. And I would say it kind of turned around in 2018.
Okay.
I started off by joining various groups. And actually, I went to a Tolling 101 session with Marty Stone. I forget who he was working for at the time. It was Marty Stone and another gentleman. That actually gave me a lot of insight into the industry.
Okay.
At the time, we were a sub to Conduent, but I was just used to my one piece of just doing the print mail. But,
Okay.
to get the most out of it, you have to be engaged. You have to be active even before the conference, So get engaged, take a look at the attendee list and make a plan.
Yeah. No, I
Absolutely.
agree. Yeah. What about you, Tawnya? How long have you been in IBTTA?
I've been in tolling about 20 years. I've been going to IBTT events since 2008, so 16, 17 years.
Okay. Great.
Attending these events. And like George, I think I recommend you make a plan. You look at who's going to be there, what are kind of the folks that you want to target to speak to. Are there particular presentations you're interested in seeing? They put the agenda out so you can kind of look at what are the topics that are of the most interest to you or most relevant to your business. So then deciding what that looks like in the sessions. They've got a great app that you can kind of pre-schedule, and that way you get these reminders. But I think a combination of looking at content and speakers that you want to hear from, as well as potential contacts in the industry.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, that app is very helpful. I mean, because you can really, once you get in there, and I know some people don't populate that.
I live and breathe by that app
Yeah.
when I'm there because
Yeah.
there's so many sessions and events and everything going on. So it's very helpful to download the app if you're going to the event.
Yeah, Lev, what about your side? Because obviously you're from Tolling Insights, but when it comes to IBTTA and coming to this event, like how long have you been coming to these?
Yeah, well, I remember the days. So I like Tawnya, I guess I've been in the tolling industry for almost 20 years. It's kind of hard to believe. But I remember the days where, I was like dreaming about being the person that gets assigned to go to the IBTTA events when I first started my career in tolling. I rarely got that opportunity. So I would say for me, it's probably been about 10 years since I've really had the opportunity to start attending IBTTA a little bit. Maybe first it was kind of one event per year, but now kind of given the nature of what we do at Toll Insight and just kind of the role we play in the industry, we're there as much as we can. So I mean, I'm typically there 2 to 3 events per year at least.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? What are you excited for? How long have you been a member?
So Mojo is relatively new to tolling, especially for this group. Mojo's been, and myself, we've been attending for maybe 4 or 5 years now. And, the one thing that I immediately noticed about the IBTTA is that it's just a big group of family and friends, quite honestly. People might move around different jobs and things like that, companies, but they stay in the industry. And it takes a little bit to get used to, but I think you even find people that come to the events that are just veterans in the industry. They're no longer active, but they just come because they want to see and the people that they've worked with for so long. You see that a lot. But IBTTA, I would say the way that you get the most out of those events is based off of what you put into it. So that includes going to the after parties and things like that, just making sure that you're connecting with all the individuals that are there at the event. That's really what makes the event, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. And with the Tech Summit coming up, it's, a couple months away, May 4th. We're excited in Atlanta. We can't wait to see you guys there. And there's some really great sessions coming up, especially about extraordinary customer service as well as customer journey, which I'm really excited for because a year ago at the 2023 Tech Summit, Alex actually spoke about customer journey. And so I know with customer journey, I think, Lev, you are moderating an event. Is that right?
Yeah, I was just double checking the agenda. Yeah, so on Sunday there's going to be a session about transforming tolling operations and the customer experience. So yes, exactly. I'm getting the opportunity to moderate that session. Very excited about that.
Yeah, and that's, because obviously that's kind of what I get passionate about, is that whole customer journey aspect. But it seems to be, and that's what I love about these events. IBTTA's, keeps their ear out, as well as other industry experts. But what I love to see is that I keep seeing customer journey pop up over and over again. Right? People are really kind of honed in. Have you guys, from your different perspectives, been hearing that? And what are you guys? How is it evolving in your day-to-day activities? Tawnya, maybe you can talk a little bit about the customer journey. Is that coming up in a daily conversation for you?
Maybe not daily, but I think for anybody that's operating any component of either a system or a customer service operations like we do that touches an end customer, agencies are looking more now towards that experience that the customer's having, knowing that tolling is a choice for them to get into, typically the toll lane or an express lane. We need to make sure that they see value in making that choice and the cost of that choice. So we do see that a lot, both from the experience that we're delivering from customer service staff and also how the system design itself goes into supporting that customer journey, making it as efficient as possible, making sure that their interaction is efficient but positive.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What about you, George? Are you guys seeing that as well? Do you agree with what Tawnya has to say there?
Oh yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with Tawnya. The only thing I'll add is, even within IBTTA, I've been a part of the Emerging Technology Group committee, rather, maybe since the beginning, but at least since 2018 or 19. But Jeff Daly and James Hoffman have always brought up the customer journey. We were always looking for new technologies, new ideas to bring into the tolling space. So it's been it's always a relevant conversation.
Yeah. And, I was really interested in this aspect because when I think I spoke about it, I said, they're great leaders. And, some of them were like Delta and Chick-fil-A and all these other outside the tolling industry, these, experienced influencers, as I like to call them. And so I was really kind of intrigued to hear, who's coming up to speak this time around,
It hasn't officially been released, but we know that it's going to be some really big, influential organizations in Atlanta and around Georgia.
Yeah, unless, Lev, something you want to leak out. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's going to be exciting. I really do. Yeah.
I think there have definitely been some examples of like certain agencies going out, like you guys mentioned just now, to other verticals, and how are they doing customer experience? How are they doing customer service? And honestly, my opinion is, as much as we sometimes say, hey, we're kind of a slow-moving industry, if you actually think about it, there's actually have been a lot of advancements in terms of how customer experience works in tolling. from
Right.
kind of making it much easier to set up an account. Maybe you don't need a transponder in many places anymore. You can pay with your license plate. There are advancements in terms of course, mobile apps. Self-service has become much more
Yeah.
prevalent. Payment options have also become much more broad. So
Yeah.
you can pay with Apple Pay, Google Pay, mobile apps, et cetera. So we're actually making a decent amount of headway, I think, in this industry.
Yeah. No, I think it is have been, we work in multiple verticals overall over our almost 20 years of being in business from the MOJO side. But I can definitely say that in the tolling industry, what I thought too would be slow moving. And again, this whole experience being in tolling these past handful of years has been enlightening all around. But I definitely think there's a big push. And I think there's a lot of eager minds out there looking at your customers, not only externally, but internally, right? And, how do you improve that? Because I think you lean to leaner operations, you lean to, benefits all across the board. Mark, you do. So with those who don't know, Mark is, he's got a great mind for operations as well. So Mark, when you look at the tolling agencies and the solutions that are out there, what are you hoping to hear when you think about customer experience and what, where the trends are coming from? Like, what are you hoping to get from this upcoming event?
Yeah, so I guess from my perspective, just because I'm more on the technical side of things, what I look for is, or what I'm looking for this next event is obviously AI, how people are implementing AI and to improve operations, customer experience, customer journey, all of those things, as well as I think what goes hand in hand with that that we often don't hear or talk about is security, right?
Yeah.
The importance of security. And so I know that there are different sessions and breakout sessions about security, and so I always make it a point to attend those ones, just to understand how, as an industry, we're dealing with those things and data privacy and protection as that becomes a bigger topic of discussion as well. But I would say those are big hot items for me on my list.
Yeah. No, I think that.
Yeah. Are there any other, sessions, breakouts, tracks, even events, after parties? Like, what are you all looking forward to the most for this tech summit?
I saw a couple smiles. There's the answers right there.
The after
Go ahead,
party.
George.
Well,
The after party or the after?
The after.
So, I'm looking forward to George singing, so I'm going to see what song it is this time.
well, to kind of go back to question one, karaoke, the Monday night event going into karaoke is where I've made the most connections.
There you go.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I mean you're able to meet people who are, their guard is down because they're, 2 or 3 drinks in, but still, it's helped me tremendously. I've made good friends. I remember, I used to see Dave McAmer from Oklahoma walking around, and I used to look, I was like, man, he looks kind of mean, but he's the nicest guy. We ended up standing beside each other at the tech conference in Orlando once, and I think we were both kind of leaning to the left, and it was a bonding moment. So yeah.
Yeah, the relationships that are made throughout, the 4 to 5 days, whether it's, going to the field trips or the sessions, and especially the after parties. I mean, it's just, it's phenomenal. So we're glad to hear that.
But I think, the relation, let's just be honest with, you're not going to do business with people you don't have a relationship with, right? And I think that's the wrong thing to do when you go to these events. Walk in there and just throwing out business cards everywhere and saying, here, give me your client list, or here, let's talk, you have to capture these events and really just kind of enjoy the moment of being there and look for the natural connection. I think if you go in there too forced, you have to go with an open mind of, I want to learn, I want to be a part of this, I want to understand more and have a true passion for it because, well, I mean, I geek out now on tolling, which is just weird in itself. But aside from that, I think that's one of the successes that I would share is like when you go there, go to build relationships. I mean, what about you, Tawnya? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I was actually having this conversation, with someone else recently about the fact that people stay in the space for a really long time. And I think it really is a testament to the relationships that you build. You build relationships with people that are customers, you build relationships with people that you work with as well as compete with. And, it makes it really fun to go to work on a daily basis. I think it's tiring, sure, because you're talking about 3 or 4 or 5 days where you're kind of all over the place doing lots of different things. But I think in general, it really allows you to connect one-on-one with people in a different forum than you have. So you've got business meeting, you've got social time, so you have a broad way to make those connections.
Yeah. Lev, what about from your vantage point? I mean, obviously you lead Tolling Insights, and I mean, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about this.
Yeah, I mean, I think these events are, I mean, just really without I think overstating it, they're very critical for us. I mean, so we, by the nature of what we do kind of try to upkeep our network and our knowledge of what's happening in the tolling industry, but most of the time it's via forums like this where it's virtual, and these are very, very good. But these type of IBTTA events are some of the few times that we're kind of seeing a lot of our clients and partners, et cetera, face to face. So yeah, sitting down, even if it's for a brief meeting, is really essential. So for us, it ends up being a very, very busy, very packed agenda for a few days.
Yeah. So far, relationships. What else, Kalie?
Yeah, relationships, having it be more organic and just really trying to utilize all the resources, have some great conversations there.
Yeah. And I think, a couple of, just in kind of as we start wrapping this up with the closing is, you have, you're there for 3 or 4 days, right? I don't know. I'm going in on Friday. I'm going a couple days early to have meetings, right? To sit down, get acclimated. But you got Saturday, you got community events, you got all these different things coming on. It's IBTTA puts on a great show. You go to all these different things. You have the trade show. It really kind of kicks off on Sunday, right? Sunday afternoon. And then you got all day Monday and then Tuesdays, more sessions wrap up. Yeah. So you do have some really good quality time to make the most of it. So, yeah, no, I think it's important. So I think from this one, we have, obviously, this is one track I think we're all kind of intrigued by. Is there anything as we start to wrap it, anybody have any particular other sessions that they want to learn more about? Or they're, I mean, I heard we already had a podcast where somebody says, I just wait till I get there and then I pick.
And then I plan it out.
But I like Tanya's approach, come up with a plan. Like I like the plan. Mark likes the plan. I don't know. What about you guys?
Yeah, no, you have to have the plan because if not, you're overwhelmed. If you wait to make your plan at the IBTTA, you've just lost. It can be overwhelming. It is one of the most exhausting conferences I've gone to because you're always on, you're always out there.
Yeah.
The very first time I've ever left a conference hotel to do something that was non-IBTTA related was in all my IBTTA events was in Salt Lake City last year when I went hiking with a group of people. Thought I was going to die because my lung was going to explode. But, it's you have to make a plan, though. And even if it's for your personal time, you have to block that out. So
I was going to add, I'm definitely on the planning side, probably almost to an extreme extent. I think I'm probably the person that sometimes annoys people. And I'll email them and say, hey, I see you're going to be at the event. Can we catch up? Some people, like to be a little bit more ad hoc than me. They'll say, okay, yeah, I'll be around on Monday or Tuesday. And I'm like, no. Like, let's pick the 20 or 30 minute slot that we're going to catch up. And because otherwise I just find that, you can miss those opportunities, but you also have to be kind of flexible to other people's styles. But that's certainly my style is on the planning ahead side.
And Lev, talk a little bit about your upcoming event. Let's hear about that.
Oh yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, so we're actually preparing. So tomorrow, March 19th and the 20th, we have an online event focused on video tolling. So video tolling, license plate based tolling has become so important for our industry now, as so many agencies have gone to cashless or all electronic tolling. So we have a great event lined up for the online format. About 300 people supposed to attend, and we have over, I think it's 25 presenters. Over a 2-day period. So we're in the interim very excited about that.
And what's the upcoming event that you have? I think after that coming up. What's that event you have coming?
Yeah, appreciate that as well. So yeah, in May, we have another online event. It's going to be an industry showcase where we're going to spotlight basically different types of players within the industry, whether it's
Okay.
associations, agencies, technology vendors, consultants, and just kind of give a broad view of what some of the interesting and innovative activities and players are doing across the industry. So that's the one in May.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, definitely excited for that industry day as well. So.
Yeah. Well, we want to definitely thank all of you for watching, and definitely Tawnya, George, Lev, Mark, Kalie. Thank you so much for hopping on this podcast and co-hosting this event with us. We definitely have more videos coming and more podcasts that are going to be released on this short mini series of events and surrounding us. And we're looking forward to IBTTA's technical conference.
Yes, and
May
we do
4th
have
to the 7th.
Yeah,
right?
we do have a fireside chat discussion that will happen after the event as well. So if you guys would like to participate, we'd love to have you there or view as well. So
yeah, and that's going to be that fireside chats. Taking that first step of maximizing the investment of time you're making right now, watching this podcast, going to the event. So we hope to see you there, and you guys take care of yourselves.
thank you so much.
Thank you so
See you
much.
there. Take care.
Thank you very much.